Hey guys, welcome back. So we are going to talk today about some specific ideas for how to contact, how to give out samples, and how to invite people to your presentations, right? Whether that be a class setting or a one-on-one. So let's talk first of all about how to find people to talk to. You've already made a names list. Hopefully that is done for you by now. So for you, especially here at the beginning, finding people to talk to is really simple because you have people in your life that don't know you're doing this yet, right? So you're gonna just start working through your names list. You've categorized it out, people that you think would be great customers, people that you think might have an interest or that you would like to work the business with, and so that you can begin talking to those people and other people that you think might like to host a class for you, right? So you've got that divided out. And now I just want you to realize that doTERRA fits really well into your everyday life, okay? So when I first started this business, I had 2 little kids. We've since added a third, right? But my husband was working full-time. I wasn't doing doTERRA full-time by any stretch of the imagination. And the first class that I decided to hold, we had just started swim lessons. And so I'm sitting there at swim lessons and my kids are playing in the pool. No, actually they were little, so I was in the pool with them, and in the locker room afterwards. We got done in the locker, or with swim lessons, we're in the locker room, and I put lavender on my kiddos' feet, right? Because the swimming pool floors are kind of dirty, and I just wanted to help support them, and I was new to oils, and now I would probably use On Guard or Melaleuca instead, but lavender is a great protective agent as well, and so I'm putting lavender on their feet after the pool. And this woman's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, I just learned about these essential oils and I'm putting lavender on to help protect them from the germs that float around in the swimming pool and on the locker room floors." And she's like, "Oh my gosh, that's so cool. I've been hearing about oils." And I'm like, "Well, I'm having a class on Saturday night if you want to come learn about it." And she's like, "Really? That would be so great." And she gives me her phone number and she comes to the class and enrolls a few days later, okay? So you don't have to make this whole separate hard thing about starting a doTERRA business. It's going to fit really beautifully into the things that you're already doing in your life, right? If you're a mom with kids, it's gonna come up all the time with other moms with kids, right? As you're talking together at the PTA meeting, or you're there at the school barbecue, or a play date with your kids, or in swim lessons or gymnastics or whatever, your prime market is people with young children because they see an immediate connection for how the oils can help in their lives. Now, that's not to say that you won't have customers of all sorts of ages and life situations, because you absolutely will. But whatever stage of life you're finding yourself in, your market is going to be people in a similar stage that are doing the things that you're doing that can relate to the way that you use oils. Okay, so we know that in general, mothers of young children are a fabulous market for doTERRA. I happen to be in that group right now, so I tend to connect a lot with those people. We have other leaders on our team who are grandmas, right? And they're doing doTERRA businesses, and they connect really well with the young moms as well, because they're sharing their stories about how they wish they would have had oils when they were raising their babies and the way they're using them on their grandkids. Kids aside, right, those grandmas are also doing a fantastic job in their business because they can relate to people about different health concerns and challenges or goals that come up at a different stage of life. So your market really is huge, and you can connect with anybody at any age, both genders, any life situation. There's a reason to use essential oils. And so that makes the product that we're selling really fantastic. I mean, your business opportunity here, if you think about selling makeup, right? Your opportunity is very limited to people who would wear makeup, which is typically women, but not all women, right? And so anyway, we have this great opportunity here. And so back to my original point, which was in the context of your daily life, that's where you're going to sample and invite people because it's natural and it feels authentic there. Another example, just last week I was at a girls' night dinner with some friends. I have moved to a new town recently, and so these women don't know me very well yet. And we're talking, and the one was sharing about how her kids have been struggling with some seasonal threats, right? She wasn't using this language, but in my compliant way, I would, I'll frame it that way for you. And so I just said, "Hey, this might sound weird, but have you ever tried essential oils for that?" And she's like, "No, what do you mean?" And so I started telling her how we use oils in our family. And I'm like, "If you want, I'll drop some samples by tomorrow and you can give it a try." And she's like, "Yeah, that would be awesome. Thank you so much." Right? Totally natural. Didn't feel like I was selling something. She had a problem she shared. I gave a solution back, right? So that's where you need to keep your mindset in this, is that when people mention a concern or a challenge or a problem, you are a solutions provider. You have something to offer and you can show up to serve rather than asking something of them. I love the sampling model that we teach in doTERRA, that we first offer something, right? Try this. I see that you're struggling. Try this. See if it helps and we'll talk. Another example for you is Facebook, right? If you are on Facebook, you can easily find people there, friends that are connected to you and all over the United States or the world, right? Depending on where your friends have spread out to, where you'll see them sharing their health concerns, right? They might say, "Oh, was up all night last night, the baby's teething, and it's not going well, right? And so in that situation, you'll see this once you're tuned into it, you'll see those opportunities everywhere where people are talking about their lives and they're talking about the challenges that their family are up against, right? And you can come in and offer a solution. Now, I will say with this, when I approach that on Facebook, I don't ever post in the comments right there on somebody's thread. I like to send them a private message and just say, hey, Jessica, I just saw your post. I know we haven't talked in a while, but that popped up in my news feed. And I'm just wondering if you've ever tried essential oils for that. It might sound crazy. We just started using these, fill in the blank 2 months ago, a year and a half ago, whatever your story is. But we've been using these for this past length of time, and I found them to be so beneficial. And, are you open to trying that? I'd be happy to send you a sample. If they're local, you can go drop it off. If they're long distance, drop it in the mail for them, right? But it opens a conversation and you can offer that sample to them. So there's endless ways to find people to talk to. I've talked to people in line at the grocery store. I've talked to the checker at the grocery store, right? I was buying a bunch of supplies and she was like, oh, this is interesting stuff you're buying. I'm like, oh yeah, we're holding a make and take for, we do these essential oil products. And so we're just chit-chatting about it. And she's like, oils, well, I've been hearing about that. And so I gave her my card and stopped at her house later to drop off some samples, and away we went, right? So you can, if you're open to it and you're looking for opportunities and just opening yourself up to receive the opportunities that are coming your way, because there's a lot of people out there, and if you're willing to serve, they'll start showing up in your life, okay? So just be open to it. Notice the conversations when they come up, and then offer your sample. You can use any of those sampling tools that we showed you the other day in our, the business tools that you'd want to have on hand. It really doesn't matter so much what the information or that you have the perfect thing. It's more about your connection with them and you sharing your story and being a friend to them and offering a solution, right? The material gives them something to read, it gives them something to look at, and that's wonderful. I like to use those things too, but don't get hung up on the exact thing that you're giving them. It's more about your connection with them, okay? So hope that helps, and I'll see you back soon. Hey, you guys, I remembered something important that I wanted to add on to this conversation we're having about contacting. So I want to talk for a minute about social media etiquette, okay? This probably could be a whole longer video of its own, but I'm just going to throw out there really briefly at the beginning of, as we're getting into talking about contacting and reaching out and connecting with people, that there is absolutely an appropriate way to use social media, and there's a totally inappropriate way to use it in terms of network marketing. And so I want you to think through, the different interactions that you've had with people and what feels good and what doesn't feel good. This is a relationships business, right? And so I don't know about you guys, but I get invites all the time where people, not even an invite, but where people just add me to a group of something that they're selling. And they don't reach out to me personally. We haven't talked in years, and they just like dump me into their sales group. And I'm like, I don't want to be a part of this group. I have no idea what this is about, and I don't care about this product that you're selling, right? So that would be an example of a less effective or, inappropriate way to use social media to build your doTERRA business. Is it okay to post on your Facebook wall that you're selling doTERRA? Absolutely. You want to consider, think if you were opening your own little corner bakery or something, right? You're gonna run a special. You're gonna let your friends and family know that you're doing this new business, that you've got free muffins on Monday mornings or whatever kind of demo thing that you're going to give. And so you could totally do the same thing with your new doTERRA business, and that's absolutely fine. But what's not okay is posting on your personal Facebook page many times a week about your new doTERRA business, or many times a day, right? People are your friends on Facebook because they want to know about you and your life and your kids and your job and the funny things that you say and occasionally what you eat for dinner, right? They're not there because they want to hear about your business all the time. So absolutely use that tool, but do it with respect and treat it like you would in-person relationships. You wouldn't, in a relationship with somebody, you wouldn't just throw your business in there, at them constantly, like, hey, my business, my business, my business. So on social media, don't do that either, right? So a good guideline is that, maybe one out of every 6 or 7 posts could be something about doTERRA. But even that, you guys, I tend to operate a lot more one-on-one, even with social media. So occasionally I'll post something on my Facebook page. More often though, I use Facebook, as I shared with you in the video, about just scrolling through and seeing who's having struggles in their life. And then I send them a private message and I connect with them. Do I sometimes run a Facebook class? Absolutely. But I don't just add people into it at random. If I'm going to add them, I go in and send them a private message and I say, hey, I was thinking of you because I remember you shared with me that you have such and such going on. I'm teaching this class. I wondered if you'd like an invite. and have a conversation with them. And if they want an invite, then invite them, right? But the whole thing is connecting with them, figuring out what their needs are, and offering a solution, not just, you know, randomly inviting 400 people into your new Facebook group all about essential oils, okay? So my 2 cents on social media. It's a great tool, and we can talk more about other ways to use it, but before you make some of those mistakes, I just want to plant those seeds in your mind, because sometimes we get excited and we just rush out there and we start blasting people on social media. And I'm just going to invite you not to do that, because there's a lot more effective way to use social media in your business, okay? All right, guys, that's my add-on tip, and I'll see you next time.